Aaron Mansoor, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you for taking the time to join me. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Yeah, better than I deserve, as Dave Ramsey says, right?
No, I think you deserve it, bro. Yeah, man. So I'm really glad you decided to join me on the show. Been looking forward to recording an episode with you. So like I have with my previous guests, I'll just start by sharing a little bit about how we know each other for our listeners. So um, it's kind of an interesting story because Aaron and I first met in university. We went to the same university, Western in London, Ontario, and we were in the same program, like management and organizational studies. And we had uh, we had at least one class together in second year, but we may have had more. And and then we kind of lost touch for a little while. And then randomly, several years later, like all of my previous guests, we reconnected through the men's circles. We know we just showed up at the same kind of event, and I was like, Aaron, what the fuck, right? Like, and yeah, like that was pretty cool. So and then ever since then, we've been doing a lot of work together in the men's circles, on in different individual circles, but in the same area. And it's just been great, like reconnecting with you and getting to know you better and seeing all the cool things that you're up to.
Yeah, super small world how that happens, eh? Just
Hmm.
bump into each other like that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So yeah, man, I thought we would start today by me just asking you a little bit about who you are and what you've been up to.
Sure thing. Yeah. Well, my name's Aaron. I do sales, residential sales for a window company called Magic. I got into that because I used to run a window cleaning company for 8 years with a company called College Pro as a franchise. After 8 years, after university, I did throughout all the summers in university. I sold that business back to the company and then started working with Magic. I really like their windows, the crankless, built-in retractable screens. I know it's crazy because I'm a window guy, but I've been in the window industry since I was 18 years old. So that's what I like to tell my clients is that like that's all I do is windows. But yeah, outside of my sales background and selling windows, I'd like to do other things like create content on YouTube. Also like to do powerlifting. Personal development's a big thing for me too. So I'm constantly reading, doing challenges. And so that's kind of about me, I guess. Yeah.
Hmm. Awesome. Very concise summary. Definitely more succinct than I would have made it. Uh, cool, bro. No, that's all really interesting. So, um, yeah, I know you touched on it just now, but like, maybe it'd be great if you could share a little bit about like how you got into the sales business and like like the residential like I guess you could say home improvement field.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So I got recruited to College Pro like window cleaning like in university first year actually. So you might have saw them come to the classes and say like, hey, run a business for the summer, put your name down. So I put my name down, got a phone call, and I really liked the I guess the opportunity. It sounded pretty cool. It's like run your own franchise. I'm a student. I'm 18 years old. So the idea of like hiring employees and like knocking on doors and like running a business was like really intriguing to me because I got to like set my schedule, set my team. And it was a tough like first summer, but I kept doing it. I kept growing that business. It was really fun, a lot of learning, a lot of lessons, especially in recruiting, because a lot of people don't realize like hiring people involves not just like selecting good candidates, but also like selling them. So I think even though I was doing door-to-door sales for like residential cleaning services like window cleaning, eavesdrop cleaning, pressure washing, I learned a lot more by like selling students on like the opportunity to work with me for the summer, right? Especially like in the later years when I was like growing my business and I had to hire managers for my business. So I'd pay them to like hire students for me to just grow my business like that. And so finding the things that like they really liked. Like, if I'd ask them questions about in the job interviews, what they do before, what interests, hobbies, likes and dislikes they have about previous jobs, and finding out those needs, like those little details that like would land for that particular candidate made it really easy on the back end to describe the job to them in a way that like I know that based on what they told me, how they'd like it. And so that's kind of like where like sales probably got the best of me because I was like, this is a really fun way. I'm like providing a job opportunity, but I'm also at the same time like I'm trying to earn these like really high quality candidates and they're like because they can a really good student can work anywhere, right? And so I have to sell them on like the franchise, the idea, like work with me. And so door-to-door sales, that was also really fun too. I mean, definitely not it's fun all the time, you know what I mean? There's lots of rejection, lots of no, but it really made you have like a thick skin. And I remember even coming back to university the second year when we met, I think in our first class, being such a different person after that one summer of just like knocking on doors and like hiring and like with working with clients and going up ladders and like doing all that, business stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, I felt already so much more developed. And so I kept at it. And funny enough, after university, I like, really want to kind of change my direction. I've been doing it for so long that I was looking for kind of my next step. And I found magic through one of my clients, funny enough. Like I was washing windows for a client and she's like, Aaron, leave your ladders. I got these magic windows this summer. Like you can clean them from inside. You don't need the ladder anymore. And so I'm playing with these windows. I'm playing with the bug screens. I'm like, these are like the coolest windows I've ever seen. And did some research, found out the Canadian company, they manufacture everything in Woodbridge. Small world. I went to high school with like the owner's son, so it was like, oh my gosh, small connection there. And I basically begged them for an opportunity, a job opportunity. So once they gave me the job, I sold my business back to College Pro, the franchise, and then I've been working with them ever since. And it's a really cool business with them because I would go from now instead of cleaning windows, very low ticket, more labor intensive, got to kind of scale the business through hiring. Now I don't have any more employees, but I just go to clients and that they called us, right? They want a quote and I just have to close them, right? So my only job is really to show them the product and then kind of convince them that like this is the best fit for them. At the end of the day, I don't really like to think it's like convincing them. It's like this is the best fit. It's more about like making them feel, giving them, empowering them to make a decision, really. You know what I mean? A yes or a no decision. It doesn't have to be yes, right? Not everyone's going to sell for me. Sorry, not everyone's going to buy, right? But at the end of the day, like I have to go through no's to get to yeses. And so if I can put our best foot forward, if I can show them this is the best quality product, it's going to solve all your problems. Yes, it's going to be more, but it's going to be worth it in the long run. That's kind of my angle, right? With Magic, it's such a unique product. There's so many, there's like 400 patents. It's like super, super cool. So, yeah, like sales kind of came from, I'd say, like recruiting with College Pro and then door to door. But now it's just like in home, direct to consumer. Trying to close on this on first sit. That's a big thing too. It's like our odds of earning their business after the fact go down drastically. So I have to constantly try my best when I'm in the home to close that deal because once I leave, it's kind of up in the wind, right? If they call me back, great, but you can't really rely on that, right?
Mhm. Wow. Interesting. Okay, so I think it's really cool how, we're talking broadly about sales, but initially your first like foray into sales was not just selling products or services, but also like through recruitment and as you said, selling people on the opportunity to work with you. And it's interesting how that led to other sales roles and sales opportunities in the future. But I'm sure that also allowed you to develop like some really good um, leadership skills and communication skills in addition to all the qualities that make you good at sales too.
Yeah, I know it's pretty cool because like even just like learning about like recruiting, like yes, you have to select them, make sure they're a good candidate, they've got all the job requirements, they've got the experience, whatever, and like they got the character, they got the values, like that's kind of what you want to find. If you have a good candidate, they're going to have lots of options. And so it's like, how can you land this candidate? Well, the best way to do it is to try to figure out what they like, right? What they don't like, right? You ask them, what did you do last summer? Oh, I worked at landscaping. How did that go? What did you like about that job? What didn't you like about that job? I love working outside. I love being on my own, independent, whatever it is. Now I know when I'm describing them the job opportunity for my business and I want to hire them, I'm gonna hit on those points that they mentioned. You're outside, you're working on your own, no one's over your shoulder, you're independent, you're free. But another candidate could have a different thing. They could have a, it's like, I really like numbers, I really like math, I really more analytical, working with spreadsheets. Great. Like I'm gonna mention, like, yeah, you work outside, you're independent, sure, but I'm gonna really focus on the parts where like, you set your own goals every week. Like you have to try to hit them. Like you're gonna keep spreadsheets with your numbers, your close ratio. You know what I mean? So like the people, everyone wants to buy, but no one wants to be sold, right? And
Mm,
so, especially candidates too, right? Like, even if when I'm, doing job interviews, if I'm ever doing job interviews, it's like they got to sell me on the job too, right? I've got options. And so, the best people I think that are good at sales, either in the home with a homeowner or with a student like hiring them or whatever, it's just finding out like what like drives them, what are their favorite colors, and then you want to paint the picture in their favorite colors. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then they're gonna fall in love and they're gonna be like, all right, I'm down, I'm in. You know what I mean? And no student also wants like an easy job. You know what I mean? Everyone wants to work for it. Like I would know because I got so good at it. I did hundreds of interviews over those 8 years and I hired hundreds of students or whatever. And I would know like within the first like phone call or first meeting that this is a star player. Like I want this guy on my team or this girl on my team. But the thing is like you can't just give them the job like that. They got to earn it. They got to feel like they fought for it. So you give them a couple of interviews, and it's really more for the qualification side, just making sure like okay, like peel back the layer. Like, are they actually going to be capable of doing this job?
Mm-hmm.
So if I were to relate that to clients, when I'm in the home selling windows, my first half of the appointment is really like asking them questions to figure out what they like. I'm trying to step in their shoes. Like, how do you interact with your home? Are you an open windows kind of family? Are you a closed windows kind of family? Is it super windy here? Is it like, are you getting hit by the sun because it's south facing and there's no trees around? Like, what is the things that are going to matter the most to you? Like, our windows are great in every single component. Like, every part of our window, the frame, the glass, the screens, the shades, like, all of it's amazing. The security, but like, what are the parts that are going to be like, yes, like that's what hits home for you. What are your favorite colors of windows? It sounds crazy, but like, it's really just trying to figure that out because obviously, I think our products are great, but if I don't show them to you that they're great, you're probably not going to want to buy.
Mm.
And
Wow.
that would be doing you a disservice, right? Like
Mhm.
that's the thing. A lot of people have a negative connotation when it comes to sales. It's like you're trying to like convince people. It's like force, but it's like no, no, no. It's very much seduction. It's a game of like, you know what I mean? We're doing this dance together. I'm asking questions to figure it out, and like I have an ethical responsibility because I know I have a good product that like I believe in that, and I know that we're going to take care of you and you're going to be super happy. Like if you go with another company that might not do that, they might like have a worse product, they might have bad service, bad installers, whatever it is. Like I'm saving you from making a poor decision. Yeah, they might be cheaper, but cheaper is not usually better, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. There's so much
There's a
in it
lot.
that's
Yeah.
fascinating, right? Like there's just I love that analogy you said about like I'm gonna like ask them what their favorite colors are and then paint them the picture in their colors. That's brilliant.
And there's even crazier like layers to it too. Like the more you learn, and by the way, I should preface this by saying like sales is something that everyone should learn or like have
Mm,
one job experience in sales. The reason why is because it's not just like you're not going to just use it for a sales job. Like you will use sales in every aspect of your life. It's enrollment, right? Like essentially like that's what it is. And so if you're an accountant, you think, oh, I'll never use sales. I'm an accountant, right? It's like no, no, no. Like you're trying to get hit. If you're trying to get hired, you got to sell that company and why they should hire you. You're going on a date with a woman, that's the ultimate sale, right? That's one where it really
mm,
matters. So sales bleeds into all these different things, and so that's why it's so like critical. And you can peel it back, like you can go even further. Like one of the best pieces of one of the best learning lessons I learned with one of my coaches at College Pro. Her name was Megan. She would watch me do interviews, and one of the biggest pieces of advice she gave me was after one of the interviews, she watched me. She said, Aaron, you did such a great job of gathering their needs, finding all the information. But the second half, when you're trying to sell them on the job opportunity, you're telling them all the reasons why they should sell, like why they should work for you. Yeah, you want to be a lawyer, so this will door to door is going to be great because you're going to experience this, and it's going to be blah 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 blah. Whereas she's like, try asking them. And
mm,
this changed my whole perspective because now what I do and when I was what I switched to doing in like interview context was I'd say, hey, by the way, I describe them knocking on doors, marketing. How do you think knocking on doors every day, being exposed to that kind of system or process would help you become a lawyer in the future? Right. And now they're thinking, they're like, well, if I want to become a lawyer, I got to probably get really good at talking. So if I have a summer job that like puts me in a situation where I'm knocking on doors all the time, I'm going to be such a great communicator. So now they're selling you, they're selling them, you know? And that's the key. It's like if you get someone to sell themselves, because everyone believes themselves more than they believe you, right?
mm,
That was the biggest shift I had. And so I'm trying my best now to like take that and put that into like, with homeowners, right? Like showing them the product and then asking them like, I know you said that, drafts are really a problem for you. Looking at these seals now, like how do you think this would fit with what, your home feels like? And they're like, yeah, this is gonna be great. Like it's gonna be so much more better for sound. I'm not gonna feel any more drafts. It's right behind my bedroom, so it's gonna be perfect, you know?
mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, man. That's just so interesting. Honestly, like I have to admit, like as someone who kind of can be a bit shy sometimes and certainly like struggle with rejection and putting myself out there and like you said, going through many no's to get the yes, like even just hearing you describe that like made me uncomfortable. And I was visualizing myself doing door-to-door sales. I'm like, oh my God, that sounds like a
It's
lot.
baptism by fire, right? Like you get out there, like you learn quickly like how to face rejection. And
Mhm.
that helps, that bleeds through life, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like after a summer of talking door to door, getting my door slammed in my face a few times, going up to a girl in a bar was like nothing. You know what I mean? So if it does anything, that's what I would recommend, you know?
Okay, maybe I need to try doing some door-to-door sales and and see
Yeah.
what I can get from that in other parts of my life as well. Okay.
And they're the worst clients too, right? Their rejections they hurt a lot harder.
Oh yeah, bro. They definitely do. You
And
we
and I
both.
think the key to dealing with rejection, whether it's sales or, in life in general, I think is really just like not taking it personally.
Mhm.
Like when a client says no to me, like, they can't afford it or whatever, and I can't figure a way out to like make it work for them, it's like I'm not gonna take it personally. It's like nothing I did. I tried my best, right? Like I gave it my all, but at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like you can have the most amazing product ever. Or what's the saying? It's like you could have like the greatest tasting apple. It's pure perfect. It's so amazing. But if someone's into oranges, you're not gonna sell them an apple, right?
Yeah. Oh, I never heard of that. Man, you're full of analogies today. I love it.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
have them written down somewhere. I don't know where they are.
Oh man, that's great. No, that is super insightful, and I'm sure everyone listening, for everyone listening, that's going to be really valuable. Like you said, regardless of whether you work in sales or everyone should learn sales, right? Everyone should learn the philosophy and methodology with this domain because it's just so valuable and applicable and relevant to like all walks of life, right? Communication skills, connecting with other people, understanding what their needs and wants are, building relationships, dealing with rejection, being persistent, not taking things personally. Like there's so much value, right? In all the things that you're saying that I think and everyone can benefit from.
Yeah, and like no matter what job you have right now, I promise you, there's a sales component to it. You're just not seeing it, right? And so getting better at that sales component can get you more promotions. It can get you, more raises or whatever, more opportunities down the line. And it's just a skill. It's a muscle that you have to flex and like build, like just like any other.
Awesome. Well, I'll have to work on building that muscle then. Um,
Absolutely, collect some no's.
yeah, bro. I I've done a bit of that, and then every time I go to do it again, I realize that I need to keep doing it.
It will exposure therapy too. Like the more you do it, the like doesn't matter. Like you know what I mean? Like by the like what's funny too? I always had this joke when I was like, back in my college pro days where the only time I was nervous to knock on a door was the first door of the season,
Mm,
right? Like I would knock on thousands of doors all summer. But every year when I restarted the business and it was time to like, okay, time to go canvassing again, the first door was uncomfortable, but then it was nothing. You know what I mean? And
hmm
so you can apply that to everything, right? Where it's like sometimes you suffer more before you do something than actually doing it, especially if you do it a bunch of times.
hmm Yeah, that is, I couldn't agree more, bro. That is gold right there. So, shifting gears a little bit here, I did want to like ask you a little bit about another aspect of your life that I think is really cool and interestingly, I think probably does have some parallels between some of the things you mentioned about how you got good at sales and the value of like engaging in that process. And that has to do with powerlifting. I know you mentioned earlier, like you're really into weightlifting. See in the background, you have like one of the coolest home gyms I've ever seen in my life there that I know you were really excited about building over the last few months. So, yeah, maybe tell us a little bit about how you got into weightlifting, why you do it, the benefits you get from it, and what you learned from all that.
Thanks for the comments on the gym, by the way. Like I chose this room and location was because it's right next to the Wi-Fi router, and I'm like, I want to guarantee the best like service for you. because my house is kind of like weird where it doesn't get it everywhere, right? But yeah, like I painted the walls here. I built that squat rack years ago myself out of 4x4s, and I just painted it. Yeah, like that's all.
Wow.
That's 4x4s and just like a couple of, you can see some, yeah, I
That's
just trimmed it
wood?
all. Yeah, it's all wood. I
Oh,
painted it, but yeah.
it looks like steel, bro. That's so
No,
cool.
like that, like this part, like the metal, like slats, like that's like pipe, like 3/4. I think it's like 3/4 inch pipe or something like that. But yeah, everything else is like is wood, and I built all that like maybe in 2019 or 2018, something like that. And I was really proud of it. I've had to disassemble and reassemble it a couple of times. Hopefully it's the last time because it's super annoying. But yeah, like I painted the walls myself. I like built this gym. I'm really proud of it. But yeah, like powerlifting is something I got into. I mean, I've always been like exercising and weightlifting on and off for since probably university time. But powerlifting hit me randomly. I think it was like beginning of 2022. I read a book called Starting Strength by Mark Rippetoe, and it just kind of like he's like an old school like barbell kind of like purist where it's like squat, bench, and deadlift, and that's like it. And I kind of fell in love with that like a concept of like compound movements, like just getting strong for the sake of being stronger. Like he's got some crazy quotes. He's like, if you're like the stronger you are, the harder you are to kill. Like he's just a cool dude. Uh, but yeah, like I started getting into it, like lifting, and it took a lot of discipline to show up every time, right? I think before exercising was just like, you can do a bad lift. Like you can go to a gym just to show up and like clock in. It's like, yeah, I did it for the day. Like that's a great way to just like stay consistent. It's like just showing up and just putting in a terrible effort. But with like powerlifting or like strength training, it's like you kind of have to be on every time because the process is it's called novice linear progression where let's say like 1 week you're squatting 135. The next time you're squatting 2 days later, or what it depends on, where you are, but 2 days later, let's say you're squatting again, now it's 140, right? And then the next time it's 145. Are you adding 5 pounds to the bar every time? And so like, especially when you get to like the PRs, like the personal records, you've never squatted this before, mentally it's really challenging because it's like, okay, like last week I really struggled with that weight. Now I'm adding 5 more pounds and like I might, what if I pass out? Last week I was feeling pretty lightheaded. Now I got to do it again, but even more. And the whole concept is like, you stress your body, you recover in a couple of days, and then you stress it again with just a little bit more. And that's like the fastest way to kind of just build strength. And so that was a cool thing that I started doing. I really liked to do it. And then I started competing actually, not like crazy professionally or anything, but just to have something to like compete for, to live for, right? Because like marathon runners, they run marathons, right?
Mhm.
Ironmans, they go for Ironmans. Like you're just like strength training. It's like you're just strength training, right? But if you schedule a powerlifting meet, 6 months out, like it changes the way you're okay. Now I got to sleep better. I got to eat better. It's cool as a sport. I think it's an interesting sport to do. So I fell in love with that, and now I do it every once, every two times a year maybe. I try to get out there. To the powerlifting community, I'm not very strong, but to like my general friends and family, yeah, I'm pretty strong. Like you know what I mean. But yeah, like to powerlifting, it's just it's so because you see some guys that are like 200 pounds and squat like 500. You're like, well, how is that possible? You know. So it's a cool sport though. Like it's definitely it takes a lot of discipline, takes a lot of mental like focus, especially just to like psych yourself up. Like last night, I had a lift I had to do, and I can't skip it because if you skip it, then you're setting yourself back in the progression. So
Mhm.
you have to be consistent. You have to hit your lifts. And so it was like 12 o'clock, and I'm like, all right, I gotta do it. I was just like psyching myself up.
12 o'clock at
Middle
night? Like
Late night,
12
yeah.
a.m.?
Like,
Wow.
yeah, I just like I was like, because I pushed it off. I didn't want to do it. I was like, like whatever. And then I'm like at 12 o'clock, 12:30, squatting 330 pounds, was it last night? 325, 2 sets of 3, which is, by the way, that's light for me. My PR for a single, 408 pounds on a squat.
Wow.
But that's a single. And that's a lot of time to build up. And then singles are obviously you can push singles pretty hard. Um, but yeah, my deadlift was like 440. Don't ask me about my bench; it's not very good. I got to like 2 plates, and then I took some time off. I had to come back, so we're
Yeah.
working on it.
Yeah, I bench 2 plates, no big deal. Like,
I bench 2 plates like 3 times. Like you know what I mean? Like it's to stay there, and then I want to get to 3 plates bench. That'd be crazy. But I'm trying my best. It's a tough sport.
if anyone can do it, you can, bro.
Thank you. But you see it bleed into your life though. Like my I play hockey like as a goalie,
Mhm.
and like that got so much better. Like my legs drive, like just like in general, I just feel sturdier, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like so it's fun. I always tell people like if you haven't tried, it's a great way to live. Squatting, benching, and deadlifting really heavy, and then just eating a lot. It's a great way to live. Lifting heavy and eating a ton. Oh,
Yeah, I guess if you, I mean, if you're burning those that many calories and you need those calories to build muscle, right? Then you can be a little bit more liberal with your the amount of calories you consume anyway. I mean, of course, you still have to be judicious about the type of calories. You don't want to just dirty bulk and fill up on junk calories. But yeah, I guess there's nothing more satisfying though, right, than doing big, heavy lifts and being exhausted and then just like, chowing down on like a big steak or a lot of, like healthy protein rich food. That's such a good feeling.
that's how a lot of people do it, right? I mean, I'm vegan, so I probably won't take the steak up, but
Oh yeah,
yeah, you
right.
knew that, right?
Yeah. I remember. Okay.
It's so funny because everyone doesn't like people look at me like you're vegan, you can squat 400 pounds. It's like, yeah, like I guess so. But it just it's because I think about me like I'm also like I was kind of a fat kid, right? Like I'm already big. I was already kind of fat. Like my weight would kind of balloon and whatever. So when I started powerlifting, I just had to like clean it up. Like I didn't have to like stop eating a lot. I can already eat a lot. But some people come from the other end, right? Where it's like they're super skinny, they can't put on weight, so they gotta like drink a gallon of milk a day. Like they gotta like consume so much calories and then lift heavy. So we all find our way to like the middle, which is kind of average lifter, you know?
Yeah, average lifter. You're very humble, bro. I admire that about you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Um,
You know, I'm the
yeah.
most humble guy I know.
Oh man, but I relate to that because I came from that place as well. Like for a lot of the time when I was a kid and a teenager, I was like overweight and out of shape. And as you said, like some people have a hard time gaining weight, some people have a hard time losing weight. For me, it definitely had a hard time losing weight. It's only been the last few years that I would, well, even in the last few years, like in high school I got in better shape, but then it's kind of fluctuated, like university, like freshman 15 and different, times in life where it goes up and down. But um, yeah, like you said, we all come from different places and we find our way to where we want to go. And I you did tell me that you're vegan. I knew that, and I guess I just forgot. So like, what do you eat like to get good amounts of protein like for a vegan diet?
Yeah, like you obviously have to like try harder to like track and like, you have to be a little bit more I guess intentional when it's like when you're vegan. When I'm like locking in and I'm trying to eat a lot, like I can eat I can get to two I can get no I can get to like 180 grams of protein. Sometimes I can do 200. I'll tell you this, like I eat a lot of I try to eat like whole foods plant-based, so a lot of like beans, rice, tofu, nuts, seeds, like veggies, right? Fruit, of course. So I mean, yeah, like and then obviously I supplement with protein, right? Like if I wasn't lifting, if I was just living, I wouldn't probably need as 180 grams of protein. But if I'm
Mhm.
lifting heavy, like I kind of want to eat that much. So I'm trying to drink, protein shake or two a day if I can to
Mhm.
just kind of supplement a little bit. Like I think most people do that. I think it's funny, but even before I was vegan, I like one program I tried, the program had me drinking like 4 protein shakes a day. Like it was so excessive. I don't even do that now, but like I remember this is like years ago before I was vegan. I was trying that. I'm like, it's not as fun to do it that way to supplement that hard, but yeah,
Mhm.
you can do it. Like you can, it's always possible, right?
Mhm. Yeah. And what made you want to go vegan again?
The original purpose was kind of interesting. It's different to what it is now. Like I started like thinking about it in December of 2019. The reason why was because I had just done keto for like 3 months. I don't know if you know keto. So it's like the opposite.
Mhm.
It's like all meat and cheese and
Yeah.
just pure fat. And I'm crazy too, right? So I like, test my blood and like see if I'm in ketosis and but yeah, like I basically was doing that and like I had some like not so great side effects. Like my breath was just like stunk, and I would brush my teeth 6 times a day just trying to get rid of it. It was just like I was angry, mood swings, and energy crash and all that. And I lost a ton of weight though. Don't get me wrong. I lost probably like 30, 40 pounds in like 2 months or something like that. But I was on this kind of health kick, and I'm like trying to find the next thing. And I kept hearing about whole foods plant-based. And
Mhm.
I didn't know that meant vegan. I was like, oh, that sounds cool. Like I'm gonna try to do that. And then my wife, my then girlfriend, wife now, was like, yeah, you know that's vegan, right? And I'm like, no. But I tried it. I tried it out, and I felt immediately like first 2 weeks night and day difference. Like I'd never felt healthy before. Like I'd never, you know what I mean? Like it was so starkly of a difference that I was like, damn, this is crazy. But then through the process of like hearing about like the ethical side of it, not just the health side or the environmental side, but like the ethical side, like of like animals, like, not deserving, to be tortured for our enjoyment, right?
Mhm.
And so I kind of decided like, okay, that's a pretty compelling reason to stay vegan. Like if I can make it work and I feel if I can make it work, I feel healthy, I don't need to kill animals to sustain myself, then like theoretically in my mind, I couldn't justify it. So now it's an ethical kind of side, an argument for me. I've been vegan for about 6 years now. But yeah, for the first month or so, it was just for health.
Mhm. Wow, that's really cool, bro. I have a lot of respect for you for doing that because that takes some
It's funny. Everyone says that, but like
dedication.
it's funny. It's like not even that. Like my mom says it too. She's like, you have so much discipline. I'm like, why is that? Like, why is being because about being vegan? She's like, why is being vegan like so much discipline to you, mom? And she's like, well, like like you have to plan your thing out. You do this. I'm like, mom. She's like really into horses. I'm like, mom. Like, if I were to ask you to eat a horse sandwich, would you do it? She's like, no. I'm like, did it take discipline for you to say no to the horse sandwich? She's like, no. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
that's how I see it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I get it, man. Okay, interesting. So, we're getting towards the end here, and like I think the main thing that I want to tie together about like the two uh main topics that we discussed here, like, your journey with sales and your journey with powerlifting. Like, I guess um I'm curious, like, what do you think are the common denominators there and the connections between the two? And by extension, like if for our listeners out there, if people are interested in getting involved in similar aspects, like or being successful in those domains, like sales, powerlifting, content creation, going vegan, whatever it might be, like, what would you say to people out there who in terms of like advice for like how being successful in one domain can also help you be successful in other facets of life?
Definitely, yeah. Like I always subscribe to the idea of like how you do one thing is how you do everything. It's funny, I would say that to my dad, and he's like, I don't believe that. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, like how you do your taxes isn't how you brush your teeth. I'm like, okay, fair enough. But I do subscribe to that idea where it's like it takes repetitions, right, to get good at something and to stay good at it. Like, use it or lose it when it comes to muscles. Same thing with sales ability, right? So I think the biggest thing that I learned from powerlifting is like staying consistent, showing up, putting in the time and effort, even when you don't want to. That's the most powerful thing. If you can force yourself and be disciplined enough to do something that you don't want to do, but do it like you love it, right? Like whatever the saying is, that I think translates so far into every other aspect of your life. Like sales, especially, it's showing up, it's doing the hard work, and it's learning the lessons and taking everything you learn from it. I think sales is such a powerful career path because, like I said, it goes into everything. But not only that, it's one of those one job where you can really write your own check, right? Like you get the amount of effort you put into sales is directly correlated to how much you earn. And that's the same thing when it comes to lifting. It's like the more you put into it, right? The more you eat well or you sleep better, like the more results you'll get. And so if I can give any advice, is just to like stay consistent, and try not to. I think the biggest thing I have struggled with in the past is like, getting really into health or fitness or something like that, doing super well, and then starting to reward myself and then slipping into bad habits. So getting back into the gym is really tough. Like you're sore, you're tired, your time's all messed around because you have to get up earlier or stay up later, or whatever it is. If you could just avoid starting over, you would go so much further, right? You'll never have to like get sore, crazy sore again because you've built that kind of consistency. So that'd be the one thing I think that is the connector between the two is like staying consistent, disciplined. It works on both levels.
Wise words from a wise man. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Mansoor, bro. I really appreciate you. I have the utmost respect for you. I think like you're killing it in like several aspects of life. I didn't mention this earlier, but like you recently got married, you recently became a homeowner. We only touched on it briefly, but you do an awful lot of great content creation. Like your videos on YouTube about sales stuff and powerlifting stuff are really cool. So yeah, man, I just think you're awesome. I look up to you so much. I want to be like you in a lot of ways, and I'm just so grateful to have an awesome man like you in my life.
Well, it's really nice of you to say that. I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure. Great always talking to you, and hopefully this is valuable to someone else out there. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing. That's the thing. Most podcast episodes or most podcasts ever get launched. I think 96% don't make it past episode 20. So if you can get to that number, you'd be in the top 4% or something, whatever the statistic is. So I wish you the best of luck in your journey, bro.
Thank you so much, bro. I did not know that. And this is only episode number 4 for me, so I still got a
You
ways
got
to
more to
go.
go. You got more. You got to stay consistent.
Stay consistent, exactly, right? I'm learning from our own episodes here. So that was so relevant that you brought that up. Real quick before we wrap it up here, what are you gonna be working towards next and up to in the near future, and where should people go to keep in touch with you?
Absolutely, yeah. Like my next quarter 1, quarter 2 goal is going to be being the #1 sales rep at Magic. So I'll be locking myself in a closet and doing nothing but that. But if you are interested in staying connecting with me at all, I do have a YouTube channel, as you mentioned. It's just my name, Aaron Mansoor. I post content around things I like or I'm interested in, like sales, like business in general, development. So I've done powerlifting vlogs, which is kind of a fun sidetrack, but
Mhm.
anything that's I find interest in, I'll make a video about it. I just like to kind of create content like that. And the way I create content, I'm sure maybe you have a similar intention, is to me, it's to leave a legacy, right? My
Mm,
great grandchildren might be able to watch this one day, and I'll be the first in the lineage to really document the lessons that they're learning. And so I just think that's a cool thing to make. So I don't necessarily make it for a specific purpose or avatar, even though it's probably the more successful way to do it. I do it for me. That's why I make it.
amazing, bro. That is truly inspirational, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the exciting things that you're up to and all the wonderful things that you accomplish.
Thank you, bro. I'll do a gym tour first video. That'll be the next one, I think.
That
You're
would be
getting an
awesome.
exclusive view right now. I haven't released this out yet.
Oh, wow. I'm honored. I consider myself, yeah, part of the exclusive club. One of the lucky few. Awesome, bro. Well, thank you so much again. Really appreciate it. Great chatting with you as always, and I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Absolutely, my buddy. Thanks again so much.
My pleasure. Take care, bro.
You too.